these comparisons are being made by people really with vested political interests here at play. But I think more broadly speaking, I mean, if you look at Taiwan's situation, Taiwan's geopolitics, Taiwan's advantages, its disadvantages vis-a-vis China, it's far different from what we're seeing in Afghanistan. And so I think these comparisons are really moot. But the point is that are there lessons to be learned? And I think there are plenty of lessons and experiences that Taiwan should be drawn from Afghanistan's example. I mean, we saw, for example, the stunning speed in which the Afghan government, its national army disintegrated, and the stunning speed which Taliban took over key swaths of the country. And so what happened as a result of that was a feeling of inevitability, of that the conclusion of this would be a foregone issue, and that what we would see would be Taliban control over Afghanistan, which is the exact situation we find ourselves in today. So what is important is that we have to show in Taiwan a determination for our own self-defense. And I think this is the point that many policymakers have been making over past weeks, which is that we can't ask others to commit in a situation where we don't have the same commitment to our own self-defense. And so we have to be very clear on that. No one will be more committed than Taiwan to our defense. And so the longer we can hold on, the longer we can show that this is actually survivable, the more we will inspire, motivate others to participate. And so I guess that is the lesson that I hope people are taking back, but I think they are. And I think that we are seeing strong resonance with policymakers here in Taipei.
So right now, how well can Taiwan defend itself?
Well, we have to move past this rhetoric that it is inevitable that Taiwan will fall. I mean, it is not inevitable. Taiwan is defensible. And if we look at, for example, Taiwan's geographical advantages, if we look at the challenges historically that any country has had with a coastal invasion, and if we look at the support that we're now receiving from countries around the world, including many of our regional strategic neighbors, I mean, all that is shifting the calculus on Taiwan's defense. And so there is this narrative that has been propagandated by the Chinese that, because of the strength of the PLA, that Taiwan is going to fall and that it is only a matter of time. But we have to be able to come up ourselves and say, no, that's completely not the case. And that if Taiwan is able to continue going down this road of securing support from international partners and allies, of engaging in defense reform, and of acquiring this asymmetric capabilities that are nimble, survivable, dispersible, and cost-effective as well, then Taiwan does really have a chance of making this not a foregone conclusion and increasing its deterrent factor to a certain degree, where any action by the PLA would be too potentially risky, not only for themselves, but for the whole legitimacy of the CCP.
And so why is there the shift towards asymmetric? Is it purely because of the balance of China's huge might? It spends 13 times the amount on defense that we do. Can you outline the strategy of asymmetric warfare?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. The key point is that you can't outspend the PLA. We just don't have the resources, and we're not going to be able to compete by buying a tank whenever they buy a tank, by buying a plane whenever they buy a plane. It's just not going to work. So asymmetric, what it really means is utilizing Taiwan's unique geographical advantages. So, for example, Taiwan is an island. It's a mountainous terrain. They're going to be conducting, if a contingency scenario were to arise, a coastal invasion. So how do we utilize those factors into Taiwan's advantage?
So another point that you make strongly in your Diplomat article is that public opinion was also a point of difference between Afghanistan and Taiwan. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, so what we saw it in early August was the Chicago poll that most people supported, most Americans supported pulling out of Afghanistan. And this was both Democrats and Republicans. This was not a partisan issue in the United States. And what was especially interesting was just a few weeks after that, we saw the same institute hold another poll, this time asking respondents about whether they would support intervening or coming to Taiwan support in the case of a PLA invasion. And so for the first time ever, the first time that they've done this poll, respondents now say yes. I mean, the majority of respondents say they will come to Taiwan's defense. And so I think that shows a remarkable shift in US public opinion. And again, what really matters is that Taiwan is able to show Americans, show everyday Americans, but show people all over the world as well that Taiwan is a part of this democratic, like-minded community, and that Taiwan's defense, the defense of Taiwan's democracy, is inherently related to the defense of democracies all over the world.